left Cartagena about 8 hours ago, and took about 6 hours to sort of settle into the passage, and about 1:30 the engine went off. There's enough wind for the Genoa, and we're sailing along very nicely. It's 6 knots now under the hydrové, which is perfect. Couldn't ask for more. Looks like we're going to be keeping this little pocket of wind for maybe 12 hours, which will be great. I may even not have to turn the engine on before 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, which would be bliss. Had an excellent day yesterday, motored for 8.5 hours and sailed the rest, and sailing under the hydrovane as well, so it's just perfect. This morning, about 4:45, the wind just died. Motored for a couple of hours, and then the wind got up, so I went through the rigmarole of shaking reefs out, putting Genoas out, and it just flapped about like an empty sack for about half an hour, so the engine went back on again, and it's been on ever since. It's just dead calm now. It's beautiful, lovely clear blue water, but that's not much good for sailing. So I'm motoring now. Behind me, you can't see it anymore, is Formentera, and in front of us is Majorca. About 5 o'clock, the wind started to strengthen. Before I could do anything about it, I had 25 to 30 knots over the deck. The weird thing was, it was still 34 degrees, so you needed to be in foul weather gear. You couldn't be in anything more than just shorts. It was crazy. It was crazy. The sea built up to 1.5 meter waves, big waves that were stopping the boat every time you slam into them. So at least we're sailing now. We're under the hydrové. We're doing about 5.5 knots. It's free, and I'm going to go and get some breakfast. So the heavy weather that I had on Saturday night after Ibiza, coming up to Majorca, which meant I had to spend a whole night chugging into the weather on the engine. Used a lot more fuel than I would have liked. There are very strong easterlies forecast for Thursday. Saturday, you know, the weather I ended up bashing into should have been 15 knots, 25 to 30 knots. And I just think if that were to happen, I could potentially end up in a situation where I've got to turn back. So I've made a decision to head for a small port or for a part of Sardinia on the northwest coast. It's 181 miles from here, so if I need to I can motor, and as you can see I'm motoring now. I've got the main up, but only really to stop me rolling. It's now 11:25 and we've still got no wind at all. So tonight is I've just spotted land. I was massively distracted. I've just spotted land. What better way to watch the sun come up than belting through the water at 6.5 knots? Just arriving in Sardinia, and we're just having a little sail outside the port, or we just sort of get the idea of the layout. Still dark, pretty much, but there's just that sort of glow. It's about 6:30 in the morning.
Alghero sta iniziando l'evasione.
Stagione a Città, da Majorca.